Hello, this is Ren, and welcome to my review for the ACR. This weapon is the first assault rifle available to the Ghost team on the Soldier class. It's a very good assault rifle, highly customizable. I'm going to show you how to make a new player's wet dream for this rifle. Now, we're going to start off with the stock. The stock is very important, it affects control on the gun. So, if you look at the extended stock, it is the base stock, has a good maneuverability, and a good control rate. Folded stock will drop your control, but increase your maneuverability. Good for some guns, not for this. We're going to use the fixed stock. This one shoves the control up higher. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is optics. Optics are important for this because, well, frankly, Ghost iron sights really suck. You would think I'd use the red dot, that's not true. I don't like the hollow sight either, so we're going to go with the tack sight. It has enough zoom for me to pick people off across the map with precision fire, even though this is going to be a CQC gun. Paint doesn't really matter, so we're going to go straight to the triggers. The triggers, you start off with the fully automatic trigger. Now, this one isn't bad for this setup. I've used a match trigger on this before, but it just isn't really for a new person because the way that I'm setting up has a lot of recoil. Now, the semi-automatic trigger is definitely an advanced trigger. I've used this before. It is a very effective trigger because you can put rounds right where you want them. I'm going to switch over to 3-round burst. 3-round burst is definitely what we're looking for on this. Now, next is the magazine. You can go either standard, armor piercing, which you're not going to get to level 36, or dual magazines. If you want to use dual magazines for the duration, you can. It makes your reload quicker. I don't like the maneuverability drop. So, the underbarrels, you can either go with the vertical foregrip or the angled foregrip. Both of these involve control and maneuverability as usual, or you can go with one of the bipods. The bipod grip or the bipod. Now, I would really not suggest either bipod because you only got a 30-round magazine. The angled foregrip is going to be more of what we're looking at here because the control needs to be just right for you to be able to pick off those people at long range, but still be maneuverable enough to do what you need to do in CQC, which is what this weapon is built for. The gas system on this affects your rate of fire. Now, the ACR has a 915 round rate of fire with standard gas. If you go under gas, it's going to drop that. I'm not sure on the rate of fire to the under gas, but if you switch it to over gas, it puts it over 1,000 rounds a minute. I put it on over gas because it's going to put the bullets out quick enough for not really much out there to beat your fire rate. Now, this can be helpful in close quarter situations because 9 times out of 10, if you're undergassed, you're going to get outshot. So, once we move on to the side rail, the only thing there is the laser, so we'll just throw that on. Like I said, this weapon's meant for CQC, at least the way that we're setting it up. It's meant for a bunch of stuff, but we're going to set it up so that people can run around in close quarters and get what needs to be done. Alright, so we go on to the barrel. Now, the barrel affects the range of the weapon. If you throw on the long barrel, it's going to increase the range, short barrel will decrease. Standard barrel stays the same. This weapon already has enough range, so I put the short barrel on it. Now, we're going to skip the muzzle for right now and move on to the firing range. This weapon has very little recoil the way that this is set up. You can pull this trigger as fast as you want. You ain't going more than an inch high. Now, if you take a closer look at that, that's about the same size as a person's head. I figured this out while I was actually test firing it a few months back. But we're going to go look at the muzzle attachments real quick, because this is where it gets a little tricky. Depending on what you want, you can go with the suppressor or the compensator. Now, the suppressor is more for flanking targets and getting in behind them so they can't hear you, because I know, for one, if I hear an ACR while I'm on the boat arc side, I'm going to turn around, especially if it's behind me. Sounds like it's behind me, I'm turning around, because not a lot of boat arc people choose the ACR as their level 50 weapon. The suppressor doesn't increase or decrease control or maneuverability, but it is a solid choice. The compensator is going to give you a little bit more control. Now, swapping over to the compensator, again, this is going to give you more control, but it's going to put you on the minimap. People are going to hear you, and it brings your grouping a little tighter. I'm going to show you the compensator played later rather than the suppressor. I might swap out the suppressor myself for this build. As you can see, it kind of tightens the grouping a little bit there. And it's still going to be about the same size as a person's head, but this one makes sure that all your shots are pretty much going to hit where you want them to. You'll notice that a couple of those shots are going over the target. That's because at the 60 meters, that's just how it's going to work. Alright guys, I hope you like the setup, and if you watch the game, this will show you exactly how the rifle is going to perform. Just to emphasize on the maneuverability in this game, if you are going to be highly mobile, there's a couple of different guns that I would suggest to you. The ACR is one that I would suggest for a cover-to-cover fighter rather than a person that likes to run around, because there are multiple playstyles for this game. One playstyle never suits one player, because honestly my playstyle is built myself by just how long I've played. I run and gun, I use cover, it depends on what I'm looking at. Now, unlike a lot of videos out there, and especially videos of people that are going to just try and make them as pretty as possible, I wish I could make the quality of this better, but the TV and the capture card that I'm working on a very limited budget, so I've got I think it's a 480i TV, and this is a Roxio gain capture card, so it's gonna probably look a little grainy when this is done. Again, here you can see just how much damage this gun does at close quarters, especially with the 3-round burst on, because one burst will kill a target. Usually those extra bursts are from me used to really quickly tap firing this weapon on fully automatic, just because I'm used to the recoil of the weapon. Now you'll see I get up behind this guy. I believe I get shot in the back by a scout here. I didn't see him. I killed the engineer, but there's a scout over in that corner. You can probably just make him out as he comes around. And just pop back on my head right there. I apologize for the coughing. I'm just now getting over a cold, which I had over the holidays. It's always lovely to get sick during the holidays, isn't it? Well, anyway, being the slight butthurt that I am occasionally, I will go back for revenge on that guy. Later. Now's a good time. But during this game, ooh, actually, that's a good thing right there. You'll notice that if you're a new player, right now, if you're on the Bodark side, you would have a detected data hack indicator on your screen. It means that somebody on my team got a data hack. Now, this is a very bad thing to happen on a person's team, and a very good thing to happen on your team. What it does is it lights up every single player on the enemy team as an outline. Like you can see right there, you can see his body completely outlined in red. And not only can you not spawn on a teammate that's compromised by intel like a data hack, you're going to get hunted down by the entire team. Unless you go in your spawn point, or unless you like to make last stands like I do occasionally. And honestly, it can be really fun. If you're data hacked, you're probably not going to capture the objective, especially if they're taking you out really quick by the objective. So try to stick together with your team. Don't run off and be a loner, because a person like me, if I find you running around in the middle of nowhere and there's nobody around when I'm not making a video like this and just trying to show you a weapon, I will tase you. And I'm going to try for the hack. Your teammate might shoot me, but I don't generally miss with that taser. So my suggestion is to stick by your team, play the objectives well, and just work together with your team. You wouldn't believe how many games I've been in where people just run off on their own, or they're nowhere near the objective. And by doing this, you're forcing good players to try and play by themselves to get these objectives. And even with my teammate Akio, who I play with all the time on this, 2 people for an objective is doable if you've got an objective where there's only one direction to come in from. But if it's an objective like most of these places are, you're not going to get it with just one person helping you. You need at least 2. One to guard both sides. And even then, frag grenades are going to come in, and everything's going to happen. There's a rarity right there. This isn't your computer messing up or nothing. What just hit me was a flashbulb. The only reason why I even got that player was because he was detected by something. I don't think we had a data hack at this point. And here's me trying to hack the person. I don't quite make this hack, but if I did, their entire team would have been screwed again. That's why that guy sprinted up and shot me. I should have checked that corner first and shot him, but I didn't. That's what happens when you don't check your corners. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. This ACR can kill so quickly. Even against a soldier which has heavier armor than any other class in the game. The scouts and the engineers don't get the armor perk that the soldiers do, because honestly, it's the only thing that they really get that's special. I'm still gonna kill a soldier in one burst. I just got strangled by the invisible man there. Ugh. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you wish to subscribe, that would be great. I'm trying to get this channel up off the ground, make a little bit of money on the side, and improve my my systems that I have to make more of these videos. I would love to be able to bring you guys more and more videos as to different things, different kind of games. I do requests. If you want a specific thing in Ghost Recon explained better, feel free to send me a private message. I will be updating my channel every couple of days. I don't know if I'm going to do it every 2, every 3, or just like once a week yet. I'll probably do it every 3 or 4 days. And it's just to help new players out, because it's just past Christmas time. People have gotten the copies of Ghost Recon. People are looking for reviews. I know I've looked for reviews for this game. I've looked for any kind of guides for the various setups that you can make, but I've noticed that they're really just either they're really hard to find or there aren't any. And here's another thing that I can't stress enough. What I just did there is I revived that guy that had been knocked down onto the ground. He was a down soldier, and since I have the medic class, I can do it a lot quicker than most people can. But if you see somebody down like that, don't leave them there. Unless there's no way to get to them, please revive them. It's very annoying to be dropped down on the ground after a good kill streak, especially near an objective. There's nobody else around, you just see your teammate walk by and keep going. There's nothing more annoying. Didn't that pallet look like a person? But again, play the objectives. This is another thing that is just so annoying to have to capture these things by yourself. It takes me 2 or 3 tries to get this objective. And even spinning around to try and get that guy, this same guy with the A91 there keeps getting me right as soon as he comes up off of cover. And look at this guy. He's just sitting there looking at his teammate being hacked. Don't be this guy. Shoot the guy that's hacking him in the face. Pick your teammate up. Get your roughly 1,000 points. I think it's 1,000 points or 300 points for getting rid of a data hack. And just move on with the game. Don't try and troll unless you're going to troll with claymores. And even then, that's annoying too. But again, if you'd please leave a comment if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. This is the first video that I've done commentary on, and I'm chattering this much because, well, again, first video, but I really just want to help out the people in this game because it's a very good game. It's just hard to play with a lot of teams. You might have seen this little wheel pop up a second ago, and what that was me holding down, since I'm on the PlayStation, I don't know what it is in other systems like on PC or on Xbox, but I know on the PlayStation 3, the R2 button, if you hold it down, will bring up a little wheel, and then you use your left stick to point at the different things. 2 of them are your squad mates, and the one on the right, the one on the left rather, is the primary objective. Whenever you get an HVT, I think you get a primary and a secondary that you can say you're moving to. It'll broadcast to your team that you're moving there. It won't tell them who's moving there. Somebody's moving there, though. And then finally, whenever somebody's got a data hack, if you push up on it, it'll mark you a target, and it'll give you a line that makes it the quickest route to that target. And if you kill that guy, you're going to get about 1,000 experience towards your class, which is a lot.